Hi, everybody. It is November 11, 2024. Hope you're all doing well. Are you? Are you doing okay? Are you doing decently? We have one hell of a crazy country. No, we really do. I'm going to show you some of the craziness, but yeah, everything is just based on a lie. Oh, the propagandists. Oh my God, the misinformation, disinformation. Get rid of them. Shut them up. They just want the truth. Shut up. That means that our world is not heading in the right direction. Oh, but there's Trump. Okay. I think that's a wait and see. Yeah. Again, another wait and see. Every 4 years, we have a wait and see. The Geo Factor 3, hello. Tony Punch, Alicia DeMoss, Sandra. Sandra, you haven't been here in 2 nights. I just wanted to let you know that your donation via my PayPal was sent to Max. Max was in thanking you. I was thanking you. So I just wanted to let you know, much appreciated. Bye, Max. Thank you. Analog Synth Player. Test all spirits. And you will know. Hello. L24, thank you. Jane Northrup and Barb in Ohio. Are you 100% better now? Hopefully. Patricia White, BMCC, Julio, Don Miguel, Kim Blanchard, Hypocrites Matrix. Hello, everybody. Joe and Mark Anthony. Hello, Brad. Hi. Obese Tuna. Tom Tomata. Hello. I didn't know we were half sisters. Okay. Steve Ladner. And Joni. Hello. Angela. Lioness Roar. Hi, guys. Haven't seen Angela and Lioness Roar in a while. And Bluesman, Sonny Fournier. Hello. Well, why don't we just get right to it? Let's look at radar. Whoop. Carol, come on. Let's look at radar now. So we've got something rather strange happening up here in California. They are, if this is precipitation, it is being evaporated quickly. Is it being evaporated by this pulse in Nevada? Very possible. Right here. Are you seeing it? Boom. There we go. Boom. Nevada. And the precipitation gets less and less. Well, the scale of it gets less and less. Right up here, we've got thunderstorms. New York and into the very, very northwest of Pennsylvania. And that is the only place that we've got severe weather. It is maritime severe weather, but nonetheless, when we see these rivers flooding and then flooding out homes, pay special attention. Strong thunderstorms located along a line extending from 25 nautical miles northwest of Van Buren Point. to 31 nautical miles north of Ashtubla. Moving 35 knots. Okay. We've seen what is happening in South Carolina, all of the flooding and the flooding of homes, and river floods over and destroys roads. Okay. Once again, alert link is in the chat. Radar is in the chat. Whoop. Okay, so yeah, whether or not. These wildfires in New York and New Jersey are pretty wild. As a New Yorker, or lived in the Northeast for a very long time, I will say that this is something unprecedented. This is not what I ever experienced living there. And homes are now threatened.
Liz and Tanya, yes, 20% containment on this fire that is still burning in New York and in New Jersey. Today, an attack from the air. 2 helicopters that were brought in. They're each capable of dropping hundreds of gallons of water onto the flames. But as you look at pictures from Newscopter 7 showing the fire that is still burning in New Jersey as well as in New York, there's a big concern. The winds, if the winds become too strong today, tomorrow, the next day, well, then those choppers can't fly, and that would make a difficult and dangerous job even more challenging. In Greenwood Lake this afternoon, liftoff for a pair of New York Army National Guard Black Hawk helicopters, each one capable of dropping 660 gallons of water on the Jennings Creek wildfire, a blaze that has already burned 5,000 acres, equally split between New York and New Jersey.
This is one of the worst natural disasters the town of Warwick has seen in many, many years. And if things turn south, the threat to life and the threat to property could really take a turn for the worse.
A quarter inch of rain overnight did little to minimize the spread of the wildfire, but it did offer a brief respite for the roughly 230 personnel who traveled from near and far to help tackle one of the worst natural disasters this area has experienced in decades, a wildfire that is only 20% contained.
When I got here this morning, I saw fire trucks from Oneonta. Some of them might be close to Syracuse, that traveled throughout the night.
It was especially frightening yesterday when the smoke was so thick and you could smell it everywhere. And I walked out to my car and I saw ashes all over my car.
The danger is far from over. The dry conditions persist, as do the steady winds. Another challenge for the firefighters, the steep and rocky terrain in this part of Orange County.
We've got 3 dozers on scene right now, and there's very limited place that our dozers can get to and actually put some really wide control line in for us.
And the difficulties in Orange County are the same across the state line in Passaic County.
We are experiencing an unprecedented dry spell, and we are currently in historical numbers for our critical fuels or the forest floor being dried out, and we're seeing stuff that we haven't seen in quite some time here in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, isn't it interesting though? There is so much out there. People can research easily, find out that states, New York and a whole lot of states, they're provided weather modification services. And we know that they can make it rain. So why don't they make it rain on these fires? Strange, huh? Not so strange. Nevada energy monitoring wind conditions. Okay. Wind means we're going to put your power out.
And like Matt just said a few moments ago, we're starting off the week on a windy note. Because of those high winds, NV Energy is planning a power outage for those living in our local mountains. This is an effort to prevent wildfires from happening. So starting at 4 p.m., homes in Angel Peak and Cow Canyon should get ready for the possibility of losing their power. Now, it's not certain that it's going to happen at this point, but NV Energy will be keeping an eye on wind conditions through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Wind now causes wildfires. Oh, with electricity on, wind causes wildfires. Don't you think that they are using this to cover their asses? You know, and if it's wind with the electricity on causing wildfires, how can they claim it's climate change? Saudi Arabia, snowfall.
For the first time in history, Saudi Arabia experienced snowfall, turning the arid desert landscape into a rare winter scene.
Look at this, look at this. Saudi Arabia.
This unprecedented weather event followed a period of heavy rain and hail, and attracted the attention of both local residents and meteorologists.
Hail and snow and flooding in Saudi Arabia.
Join me as I dive into the heart of Saudi Arabia's floods and heavy rains to uncover if climate change is really to blame. Let's talk about climate change and its impact on weather patterns, specifically focusing on the recent floods and heavy rains.
I can't listen. I don't want to listen to lies anymore. And you want the news, you want to know what's happening in the world and everything. You just come across lies after lies after lies. Our life is based on lies. The world it's really a new world order based on lies. All you have to do is a little bit of research to find out that yes, weather is being used as a weapon. And yes, they're using it an awful lot to force into people's minds that it's climate change. Don't consider anything else. Saudi Arabia. Okay. So, what else do I have for you? Tragedy in Argentina. And based on the tragedies that we have seen, like with Hurricane Helene, Spain, it's hard to say that this is a tragedy, but it is for some people who have to suffer the consequences.
Tormenta.
A thunderstorm accompanied by strong winds, rain, and in some places hail on Saturday, November 9th, 2024, caused damage in several towns in La Pampa, Argentina. sky was cloudy and strong gusts of wind raised dust in the area. Just a few.
These winds that they are now creating, I believe, I never looked into the scalar technology documents, I'm sorry, but scalar weapons. And they're very dangerous. And they cause an awful lot of damage. Now, Dave Hawley posted this. This is the UK. And I saw somebody leave a comment in the chat last night that you haven't had sun for quite a while in the UK. That's what I was hearing from a subscriber of mine in the UK a while ago, but still, okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Good evening. It's now 4 p.m. on the 11th of the 11th. I just want to show you what the bastards have been up to. And are up to. Relentlessly. Wow. Captain Megadome. You may be able to hear there's another one above my head. Just take a look, people. Take a look. Every line that you can see. Strike after strike after strike after relentless strike is them with their cam. Take a look. Look at the filth. When was the last time you saw an unmarred sunset? What are they hiding? But I ain't seen one for a good on 10 years now. Chem bomb. That's a chem bomb. Oh wow, look at the chances of that for a shot, people. Divine timing. Where's your plume of doom, scumbag? I wish this camera would stop jumping around. You're going to turn on for the camera. I don't relish him driving through all that chem mist. Hey, folks. Look at that oxidizing filth. What about filth? Check this scumbag out. Captain Splutteros. See you, Splutterossi. On off, on off. Two completely off. Lost him. Because he's turned off. Imagine that. Just take a look, people. All laid by planes. 14-day shite out. 3 hours of a reasonably clear sky. to a total shite out. Yet again. On planet. Fucking insane.
Look at this. Wow. This is absolutely disgusting. You see how it almost looks like there's a rope of white lining this, very defined. Yeah. It ain't real, obviously. So poisonous.
Ta-ta.
Okay, well, there you go. Has nothing to do with the weather, though. Don't worry. Oh, I wouldn't want to tax your brain. Perfectly natural. It's just those contrails from the planes, you know, and the pollution. Thank God we have COP29 now. 29 years of crap cop crap. Oh, it's infuriating. Hundreds hospitalized in Pakistan as smog reaches record levels. You have to wonder, is it smog? What? When I see these fires now, like New York, New Jersey, also Connecticut, I have to wonder, what is in that smoke that, well, I don't know if today they had an advisory, but it was yesterday or 2 days ago. They were telling New Yorkers to not go outside. This is what record levels of smog have done to people in Pakistan's law.
And you can't step outside, you can't take the kids anywhere, you can't even open your doors and windows because then the smoke comes in and it's terrible.
तो लोगों को कहना होता है कि आपने मास्क लगाना है, मास्क लगाने के अलावा उनको काउंसलिंग करनी है कि आपने बिला वजह घर से नहीं निकलना, और जो ऑलरेडी एस्थमेटिक है या सांस की बीमारी है उनकी बढ़ जाती है।
Complete lockdown could be imminent. And when I said I guess, was it Lahore? And they didn't write out the full name. Yeah, you do have to. All primary schools have been closed. They are unable to seize smoke-emitting vehicles. Oh, could this have anything to do with COP? Yes, they can create this very quickly, all of this in the air. Wrong video. So I'm going to play a few minutes of this video. I will link to it, but she provided a link to town council meeting talking about FEMA coming into one particular area of Michigan, Osconda. Is that how you pronounce it? FEMA has a staging area of 350 semi-trailers with equipment. if you know of any other area outside of North Carolina and now Michigan that FEMA is setting up these staging areas, could you let us know? Because yeah, I'm going to play another video where they're, well, let's just say it begs questions.
Hi, guys. Okay, I have a quick question. I'm hoping that someone wiser than I am can answer this question for me. I was hit up yesterday by a girlfriend who was hanging out and saw a post over in a group community page for one of the towns that that we both belong to. It's called the Tawas Exchange. And somebody had posted about FEMA staging and bringing in supplies into our area. And they had questions of whether or not it was true or not. So she sent it to me. And, of course, I looked into it. Long story short, there is a town hall meeting, okay, township meeting from Oscoda. It was held October 28th, I do believe. I have the video. It is on YouTube. I will leave it up above in a card. I will also leave it down below for you so you can click on it. You can watch it yourself. It's going to be at the 10-minute, 30-second mark.
Thank you for that information. Here it is. 10-minute, I don't know what she said, but I think I have it. Okay, so this is the meeting, and here they announce FEMA coming into their area to set up a staging post.
There's not much change other than our projects are moving along. Next would be the report, the airport report. That would be me. The airport was just notified that FEMA has chosen the airport facility as a stationing hub for emergency services through FEMA. They will be serving 6 counties in this area, and they will be bringing in some 350 semi-trailers with equipment to park on the base. So if you see a lot of trucks coming into the base, that's what it is. It's nothing to get scared about. They're staging for emergency situations in any of these 6 counties that FEMA takes care of. And Mr. Freeman is in the house.
Don't be scared. Don't question it. They're there to make sure that you are safe. So the 6 counties they are concerned about for disaster areas is over 2 hours away to the south, where all the major population areas are to be in South Michigan. Wow. I will post the link. So much to be concerned about with our fabulous government agencies. What will they be pulling before January 21st? Okay, JWTV posted this video yesterday, and it's FEMA again. He has an interview with someone who, tried to get into one of those staging areas, but this is a FEMA supervisor saying, we had people jump out with machine guns? Really? Machine guns? I don't know too many people who have I don't know anyone who has a machine gun. I haven't even heard any of the gun enthusiasts talk about machine guns, but hey, believe that supervisor.
Jump out with machine guns and AKs and machetes.
All right, this one video that you just sent me recently, that was them coming to your house. What happened with the situation? You said that was FEMA?
Yeah, so I was getting ready to get in the shower, and I saw the cameras go off, and I looked out. I was like, who is this? And they were knocking on the door. I heard them knocking and all that. I couldn't get out there in time to talk to them. So, of course, I jumped in the truck and rode around the corner, and I was looking around for them. I figured they were still around if they were knocking on people's doors. So I found them, and I started talking to them. And as soon as they saw I was recording, they didn't like that. So I stopped and then immediately started recording again, of course. So they were actually very nice. They were actually trying to help. But then as soon as the badges and the other guy got involved, it got a little weird. But
So this is whenever the video, you came and then you looked for them, you chased them down, and then after that, when you found them, that's when you start talking about the badges, and you said, you talked to those ladies about that FEMA area. And
so you guys are with FEMA, right?
Yes, there's my badge to prove who I am.
So
Somebody's calling you.
Oh,
huh?
oh no, I'm
You're
filming. This is perfect. Can I see your badges?
But you can't put it in there though.
Oh, okay, not your
Yeah.
badge. I
No.
got you. So what you ladies have is a real FEMA badge.
You got it. They paid me to do this.
Okay, so do you have a site in Candler?
That I don't know. I would be lying. Where's Cantler?
Candler is just west of Asheville.
Okay.
Okay.
Every team has a different
Question for
county.
you, sir. We're not supposed to be filmed. That's against our rules.
Well,
So if you're
I'm
filming-
filming in North Carolina, which is a one-party state, but I've actually let you know that I'm filming, and you haven't asked me to stop. You've only said that you're not
You
allowed
didn't-
to be.
You
Yeah,
didn't ask us.
please stop.
Please stop. Yes.
Okay,
We're
well,
not
I will
supposed
stop.
to.
Yeah, they were turning down a side road right down the street, so I pulled down there, and they had just pulled into somebody's driveway, so I pulled in behind them and kind of, not intentionally, but it worked out. I blocked them in so they would talk to me for a second. I won't mean to them or anything like that, of course.
Yeah.
But they were very nice, and they were like, "Yes, we're from FEMA. We're just trying to help people." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Okay, so if you're real FEMA, what's going on in Candler at this other site?" They didn't know. They didn't want to talk. They said, "Don't film us. Let's call our supervisor." And then he shows up about 10 or 15 minutes after we started talking. And when he comes in, he comes by us way, way, way too fast to be on that street, slams on brakes, throws it in reverse, squeals tires, and backs up. And then later on in the video, you hear him say, "Oh, well, that was either meant to hit you or let you know I was coming to get these ladies out by any means necessary." So didn't have to hit it quite that hard.
Dante, this gentleman has concerns and stuff that we are not able to answer.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
All right, Dante, nice to meet you.
So you are at the Blue Ridge Community College facility, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what is going on in Candler?
Can't tell you.
Can't tell me, or you don't know?
Can't tell you.
Because they're saying they're FEMA, and they're not.
Okay. Have you called your local law enforcement?
No, we called Washington, D.C., and FEMA said, no, we don't have a site there.
Because we'll never tell you where we are.
Oh, okay. Protocol.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if people are here to help, why wouldn't...
For our safety. Because you got a lot of people out here that aren't.
Right, but I went into Candler and asked them for help and told them I had trees on my house and I needed to sign up for disaster relief, and I was met with resistance and forced out with armed security.
Here was when he infiltrated that FEMA account and got forced out.
We've already had another reporter. She came in here, tried to villainize us, tried to say that, we're doing all sorts of just crazy shit that's not happening. So the misinformation that's being spread and the division that's being forced is wrong. Because all you're doing is creating further turmoil, and you're upholding the response times. Let me have you guys come out here.
External affairs.
Let me have you guys come out here.
on.
And we'll get you to the front gate.
Pretenses.
I'm just trying to find out where you guys have been. I mean, we've still been pulling people out of the woods that say they haven't seen anybody. Why would that happen?
We have equipment there.
Okay.
For safety, everything. Equipment, people, personnel, documents, your personal information, a lot of things. So the local law enforcement always will be your first choice to go to. Even if we had an actual building facility, you'll never know. We'll never tell you that we're there just for that reason. You get people that are upset, militia, whoever, whatever. We've had them coming at our armed military, the whole nine. So a lot of times we won't tell you where we are. We won't tell you if we're there. We do have a presence in that area in Chandler, but we can't tell you if it's housing or not. And more than likely, if you ran up on a place and it has armed guards, then there's personnel inside.
Right. Okay.
So it's us. We're here. We're going to be here for a long time, but they won't tell you exactly where we are.
I just found it very strange to go into a FEMA spot and say, please help me, and get escorted out with guns.
Everything is a critical threat until we either find otherwise. And so their protocol is to usher you out in that area. So it's not that we don't want to help you, and I apologize you had that engagement with that.
But nobody had on FEMA.
They won't. A lot of us won't carry. A lot of people are scared to carry them. I'm not. I'm not worried about it.
I don't have it on.
I'll tell you, most of the people.
Is it really that bad?
It is.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
And that's why you have me floating around and pulling around and jumping around and checking everything, because it is.
Well, the way you backed up, I said, now who is this?
Yeah. The backup was meant to either hit you or to let you know I was coming to get these ladies out by any means.
Oh, no, I would.
So he's admitting that he was going to run him over and try to murder him. What do you think about that?
Oh,
so
okay.
You hear him talking about, the next step, I had U.S. Marshals coming in, they were on the way, and blah, 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 which I think that was BS, because if he had them on the way, where were they? Why didn't they show up? Because he never called them and said, don't come.
So he was trying to intimidate you by bluffing.
Pretty much. Never heard these ladies. That's why I'm more concerned about you guys not knowing what's going on under the name.
Well, they can fuck around and find out, and I'll be happy to break it off for them. That ain't the word. Those ladies are our highest priority.
Right. I understand that. I get that. But
it's weird. It's just a weird
very
time.
weird right now.
There are.
Yeah, it's very weird. And that kind of behavior and talk, well, begs questions. What the hell are they doing there? So you have this camp, FEMA camp, and what? People know that it's there, but they can't say that it's there. This is very strange. They do talk about military being there. So what, pray tell, is going on here?
It is right now. Did you have any more footage on that you could bring out?
I don't myself. I have a video of us walking into the office, and it's just a chill dude sitting there just hanging out. He had broke his foot. He had his foot propped up, and I was like, no, man, sit back down. We just wanted to talk. I was just trying to get a list of people to go help. And he was like, no, we can't really give a list here, but let me give you this number. You can call her. She has a list, and then you can go and try and assist with those people. So he was really trying to help too. And that's the place that they didn't have armed security, but they had a much larger National Guard presence. There was 113th Sustainment Brigade from the National Guard.
And this was an empty prison for first responders, correct?
Right. Let me explain what this is. This is Asheville Buncombe Tech Community College location in Woodfin, west of Asheville, or northwest of Asheville. And that is a firefighter training facility. They got 2 4- or 5-story buildings that you can see are burned up where they're training the firefighters. They got other little trailers and stuff where they train them. And then they set their base camp up there. But then that road is a dead end road. So when I drove it the first time, before I put the drone up, I was by myself. And I went up the road and got up, and I saw the Craggy Correctional Center sign at the end of the road. I didn't know it was a dead end road. So I got up there. I was forced to pull up into the prison and turn around. There was Humvees and National Guard people up there at the prison too. So I was like, what are they doing up here? And why is this a prison? I need to get out of here either way. So I turned around and hauled ass out of there. And I went and got up with some people and came back, and we put the drone up. So we saw all the stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go in. They don't have security at the gate. Let's go. So we go in, we walked around, walked straight into the dining hall, walked around and talked to them for a minute. They showed us to the office. And then we were just kind of walking around on our own, just to see what we could see. And we walked up on two National Guard people and we were talking to them and they said, oh, well, are you authorized to be here? Because we started asking some sensitive questions he didn't like. Well, are you authorized to be here? And we were like, no, we ended up here by mistake, but we're good. We're getting ready to leave. We just saw you guys and wanted to talk to you. And then he went straight to the office we just came out of as we were trying to get back to the truck. I was like, we need to go. So we got in the truck and left. And then a Honda Civic came out with 4 dudes in uniform and followed us out for like 3.5 miles.
What?
Okay. Link is in the chat. Has Trump mentioned anything about FEMA? Yeah, well, we've got something going on here that should concern every American, whether you're on the blue team or the red team, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of questions that need answering, but they don't feel like answering any questions. So, suck it up, Americans. No. Your tax dollars go to FEMA, and they screw Americans all the time. So, crazy. We're just flipping crazy. Now, I have heard from many who have given over their DNA to organizations that then will tell them all about themselves, right? So check this video out. It's actually, well, it's right on, but it's also somewhat funny. Okay, here we go.
I got my results back from the blood sample I sent in to one of those DNA sites.
Oh, yeah.
Ready? Ring! I am 32% German, 68% Swiss.
Whoa!
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I did that too. I sent my spit into one of those websites, and it turns out I'm 16% Irish and 18% Hungarian, and the rest is Italian.
That's neat.
Wow.
I did it, and I found out I'm 75% French. I don't even speak French.
Wow. You're blowing my mind. You're blowing my mind. What about you, Sean?
Oh, I sent mine in and I found out that I'm, let's see here, 92% dumbass for sending a DNA sample to a random website that now has full copyright and unregulated access to my genetic code for the rest of time. And like 8% Spanish.
I love
that's so Spanish.
Yeah.
Tapas.
Yes.
Mallorca. It's dangerous though, like what we're doing now.
Salamanca.
Salamanca. That's a nice
You
word.
don't care that they can copyright.
Croquette.
You didn't
Is that
read
a
the small print?
Barcelona.
All right.
Barcelona.
It is totally no. It's fine.
That is pretty much the response of people. Oh, I don't care, right? And Ancestry.com. Who bought that? Was it BlackRock or something? Yeah. Boy, weren't we fooled by an awful lot of these sites? Facebook, everybody putting their face up. Surveillance, DNA gathering on all people. Yeah, okay. Just in case anybody wants to circulate this, the link is in the chat. So yeah, listen to this. When you listen to people do scenarios jump out in your mind and start doing a dance?
Is looking for. That is my question. I'll start with you.
Joe Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris the president of the United States. Whoa. It would absolve her from being able to, from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat. And it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats
Okay, this
operate.
has now jumped from an internet meme to a Sunday morning show.
Jamal's out here right now.
Congratulations.
Season of House of Cards.
I thought you were going to say, what about the Supreme Court? That's also out there.
Well, the Supreme Court might happen. I don't know if it will, but I think this is something that's
He is looking for. That is my question. I'll start.
Yeah, good plan. Biden should resign, then make Kamala Harris the president. And, well, she lost, but hey, force it on the American people. And then she can, be the top person for the transition. And we do have people who are saying that they're not going to qualify Trump as the president. People, Democrat representatives like Rankin and others. Okay. Well, that would make Kamala Harris the president, forcing it on the American people. Let's say we have something that takes off. World War III. Oh, there's not going to be a change of president, and it will be Kamala Harris. Yeah, but that guy said Democrats have to learn drama. No, you really don't. In fact, you have to learn how to not be drama queens. Batshit crazy drama queens, because that's what you are. So that guy has to go back to school and learn something other than what is in his head. Yeah. Abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood, warn they'll go bankrupt if Democrats' sex strike continues. They're serious. Okay. Let's move on, because there's nothing you can say about this. They're really doing this. There are women who've shaved their heads and vowed never to have sex with men. And my hunch is that the men that they have in their lives are saying, okay, good. You ain't looking so pretty with the shaved head. Oh my God. So, yeah. Okay. You got to cut off people who voted for Trump. Now, we had this going on 2016, 2020, still going on. Repeat. So flippin' boring. Repeat. This is life, should be very exciting. And the excitement comes from growth in the right direction, like maturity and, spiritual growth and, all that kind of stuff. We ain't going to do that. Not here. Let's listen. Yeah, this one is a Yale. What is she? Yale psychiatrist or something.
Interact with people who voted for this, right? If you are an LGBTQ person and someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman, knowing that, this man was calling people the B word, J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of Black women were incredibly triggered by that. And
didn't Biden call people trash who were, Trump supporters? This woman is so disgusting, but MSNBC actually tops CNN in their most disgusting propaganda. They never get off the race card, playing the race card, playing the transgender card, playing all of the agendas that an awful lot of Americans do not want at all. So, yeah, cut them off.
If you then meet somebody and you know they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talked to, adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of, need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental health.
This is a Yale University child psychiatrist, but a psychiatrist, their role is actually to facilitate the development, of whoever is sitting aside from them or in front of them, but to help them resolve their issues. And anyone who cuts off from their family simply because of how that family member voted, that means they have issues. Yeah, clearly. Okay. And when you listen to other gay and transgender or lesbians who are sane, there is a whole lot that are not for this agenda that has been taking place, the LGBTQRX whatever agenda. They are not for it. They see how dangerous it is, and they're very against all of the damage that people like this do to children. Okay, so let's listen to a few of them.
I'm not afraid of losing my rights because I understand that Donald Trump is not interested in taking any rights away from LGBTQ adults, but rather he is ready to wage war against these adults who have been harming and indoctrinating this country's children. How about you?
Oh, me? No, I'm not worried because when he was president, he stood up at the UN and demanded that homosexuality be decriminalized worldwide. Didn't they tell you about that on CNN? No? Oh, well, yeah, that happened. What about you?
I'm not afraid for my gay rights because Trump has already been our president. And last time he was our president, he had Republican control of the House and the Senate, and he still didn't do anything to our gay rights. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about losing any rights under a Trump presidency as a gay woman. How are you going to tell me he's against gay people when he literally had a gay wedding at his own house? How about you?
I am not afraid for my rights under Trump's presidency because President Trump appointed Richard Grenell, who became the first openly gay man to hold a cabinet level position. I wouldn't consider that taking rights away. I think that's providing opportunity where it's never been given before. How about you?
Did y'all forget that he was the first ever U.S. president to enter office? Actually, even before he was entering the office, to be pro-LGBT.
Yeah, we're good.
Just wanted to show you, or maybe those who are panicking about Trump being president and he's going to take away all of your rights, and you haven't seen the rights that the Democrat Party took away from you? You don't even notice that? No, you're not going to notice that. Okay. Oh my God. I mean, okay. So, well, for those who are terrified, colleges are still treating the students not as young adults, but as children that need coddling. And oh my God, Chico State in California, offering counseling and handing out meditation coloring books to help students cope after Trump's landslide win. Wow. How nice of Chico State. Infantilizing the students. This shit is still continuing. You're kidding me? Grow up. Just grow up. Hey, you're in college now. Grow up. You don't need a teddy bear. You don't need coloring books. It's okay. You need to face reality. You need to shatter that delusion that you're under. You need to, well, I was going to say, well, you need to do some work on yourself because you've got issues.
For a lot of the folks, again, because of the fear and the uncertainty of what's coming, this can be a traumatic moment for them. And so I would argue that counseling is not a dramatic response, but that it's an appropriate response. And this is a healing-centered campus. Some of it was more formalized counseling services, and others were really just more intentional interactions. Come in and, do meditation coloring sheets. For a lot of the folks, again, because of the fear and the uncertainty of what's coming,
I want to believe that this is all bullshit. I just want to believe that there couldn't possibly be young adults that need a coloring book. I want to believe that. I want to believe that. I want to believe that that the bullshit propaganda hasn't stuck in their minds. That's what I want to believe. But I've seen too many who are bona fide crazy. Bona fide crazy. They went to public school. They now attend college. And they need a coloring book to help them with their fear and uncertainty. But no one felt that when the Democrats are still in charge, which is really just astounding to me. The indoctrinated mind will literally prevent anyone from seeing reality. That's really scary. But apparently we've got a lot of them. But check this out. Harris campaign paid Winfrey, Oprah, $1 million and other celebs to appear with her for the presidential bid. You paid Oprah $1 million to get her endorsement. That doesn't sound like a very genuine endorsement. That sounds like Oprah's been paid off to have Kamala come on her show. $1 million. All right. Yeah. We're voting for values and integrity, Oprah said. We're voting for healing over hate. Well, could you expound? Could you give us some details? Like, what are you talking about? Healing over hate. They give these vague statements that for the stupid, it goes into their mind and they think that the Democrats are the good team and they're fighting the hateful team. And that's all they need is healing over hate. The hate is coming from the Democrats. We see that over and over again. But what values and what integrity are you talking about? Define it. Let's expound on that. What values, Oprah? See, people use those words and what? They think that means something? It is something of substance, values. What values are you talking about? Values to destroy children with the transgenderism that has taken place? The values to destroy children when the education department turns into just this conveyor belt of protesters, and they're not learning anything. What values? When you come out with people like Oprah and Beyonce and all of these other people, you're showing yourself as a woman who has no values and is all about celebrity. The Harris campaign spent 6 figures on building a set for the Harris appearance on the popular Call Her Daddy podcast, a sex podcast. Are those the values? Is that the integrity, Oprah, that you're talking about? So she paid her way for all of these interviews with people that are all about money. And what are the values of Oprah? It's just another trashy billionaire. Look at this. Yes, she can. Okay. You're not letting go of the past, Oprah. Yes, she can. So she spent up to $20 million on swing state and lost every swing state. She had John Bon Jovi, Christina Aguilar, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga doing concerts the night before the election. This was a hotel room. Okay. Well, let's listen to this. It's pretty amazing.
$10 million for Beyonce.
$10 million she spent for Beyonce to come out, spend 2 minutes on stage, not give a concert and leave. 10 million. This is who you want running the country? Democrats, really?
To step up and back Kamala Harris publicly. $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion, $3 million for Lizzo, $1.8 million for Eminem. I mean, is that normally how it goes? You spend $20 million, you get yourself in debt to try to get a bunch of rich celebrities on stage? I'd never seen that. Maybe I'm ignorant of the fact, but wow. $10 million.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a lot of money for sure. But yeah, all right. So November 4, 2024. And where is this? don't know where it is, but it doesn't matter where it is. The thing is, I have yet to see a Republican go up to a Democrat and start confronting them and assaulting them. It generally is the Democrat going up to the Republican, getting in their face. Democrats, you've got to understand that you are the problem. You're the hateful ones. And every time you point the finger out, well, you got to realize it's called projection. You don't like to think of yourself as hateful, but you are, Blanche, but you are. Not only hateful, but narcissistic.
So what's going on? Let's stay on the sidewalk so we don't get hit.
Here's what happened. I approached her and I said, I'm trying to understand why you're supporting Trump. Okay. And then I said, you're brown skinned. What do you think's going to happen to you?
Why would you say something like that?
Because she has brown skin. And that's what the racists are.
Okay, I'm not talking politics with you. I want to know, did you put your hands on somebody?
I put my hand up on her chin like that. Just like I did to you.
You can't do that.
I realize that.
Okay, stay with
Even if somebody...
Do you know her? Are you... Okay, are you by yourself?
I'm by myself.
Even do it the way, like, you're not taking that in. I am taking it in, but that doesn't give somebody an excuse to put their hands on somebody else.
No, but I was behind them and over her and hit in her face, and it provoked like she got.
Yeah. If somebody comes up nose to nose with you and starts screaming at you, what do you do? But basically, my response was to push her away.
Okay, just hang tight. Who's the other person?
That's the
you?
I'm retired law enforcement. She's a former retired.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and she's real level-headed.
Okay. Her back was turned talking to me back here, so you didn't even see when she stepped up and I told you like 5 times what I saw.
Please stop, okay? Just hang tight here. We're going to talk to the other person and figure out what's going on. No, you cannot leave. You need to stay here, okay?
Over there.
Okay, I'm going to hang with her. Let me talk to her first. She admitted she put her hand on her chin. Somebody else punched her.
I kind of think it was a setup. The lady came up to us crying and told us about her abortion story.
The old lady?
No, the young
girl
one,
with
red hair.
Okay.
She came up from the backside and started accusing her of being a person of color and should not be supporting Trump. And I mean, she stepped in the face. She came to get me, and she actually stepped up on the podium and grabbed me. I turned around to acknowledge her, and that lady was right up
So
on
she got
us.
up in your guys' face.
Yes.
So she initiated.
Yes, she did.
I saw it happen.
Do you see how immature Americans are? Do you see the immaturity? And it's generally, yes, on the left. That woman had to understand how a Black woman could support Trump. Okay.
Okay, I'll talk to you in a second.
Hi. So she came up to me and she read my shirt and she said, you know that God doesn't like guns. And I said, well, you know, I'm not voting for Trump to be my pastor. And then she says, and you should know better.
Did she like get up in your face?
Oh yeah.
Like how close was
so she was right there. Okay. And then she said, you should know better. I said, why? Because I'm my skin color? I said, you're a racist. And then she came up and she pushed me.
Okay.
And then she hit me in my freaking chin.
Like close fist, open
like
fist.
close fist. I mean, she obviously didn't hurt me, but it's like, you know what? You have the freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. You can't touch me. You mean you cannot touch me. Right. She pushed me and then she hit my chin. She wasn't done with the push, so she thought she could hit my chin because of her age, maybe. And I'm not gonna do anything to anybody. you know, but
Did she seem like she wanted to hurt
oh
you? Like
yeah,
it was an aggressive.
no, it wasn't like an aggressive, but
Okay.
she just punched me at my chin.
Okay.
Okay. Washington State. What is wrong here? We have so many control freaks in our country. And yes, I'm going to say it again. Most are the Democrats. And I'm speaking from having had the experience. This is not anything that I would have ever done, but yeah, it was a different time, very different behavior. And well, we didn't go out punching people and cutting off family based on our vote. And I'm going to play this, somehow these people need to be shut up. Now, yeah, free speech, okay, but they need to understand the damage that they are doing. Now, I don't mean when I say they need to be shut up, that they need to be censored. They need to understand that their thinking and what they say is insane. Now, I'm not saying that I'm for Trump and everything's just going to be wonderful and rosy. We have no idea what's going to be taking place. It's a wait and see. Doesn't matter what he says. It matters what he does. Okay. But how is it, having watched what has been going on for the last 4 years with the Biden administration, with Kamala Harris, and all of the problems that we are facing, like the border, right? There are people who used to be Democrats, but the 4 years, the inflation, the economy, the border, so many issues that we have. Well, Trump was speaking to them and they heard, and inflation and the border were the number 2 issues in people's minds. But the Democrats harp on that wasn't it. Misogyny, racism, and they keep it going and keep it going. So any sane Democrats out there, you need to set them right somehow. Because unfortunately, they do have platforms that they get to speak publicly, and how it is that they have these platforms, how it is, what is it, CBS or ABC, The View? Okay, that show continues on. And I have to wonder, The View, that it continues on, I think it continues on to allow women to actually think that they're intelligent with what they say, but they're beyond stupid listening to people like Whoopi and all of the rest. I think it's a dumbing down. It's a show to dumb down women and keep them in their place. Because anybody who watches it, who has a working brain cell, must realize that what they say on The View is so outrageously, pathetically stupid that there's got to be a reason why they continue. How long has The View been on? I don't know, 25 years? Wow. Okay, here we go.
Now it's time for Lefties Losing It, and we have a star-studded lineup for you tonight, from Barbara Streisand to late night TV hosts. But let's start, Lefties, with the always clueless, always bitter, always delusional ladies of The View. God bless ABC for keeping this awful program on air. If it wasn't for the hosts of The View, well, I don't know where I'd get my content from some days. All the hosts are pretty awful, but some are more awful than others. Listen here as one of the less awful hosts tries to say something actually sensible and factual, but Sunny Hostin ain't having it. She just keeps screeching misogyny, sexism.
These different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep.
So
and they were begging people to care about it for years.
It is so racist of her to say that. They're on the border, American Latinos on the border. They recognize that who's coming across the border? They ain't like the hardworking Latinos that want to be American citizens. They're not like them. They're causing an awful lot of chaos and crime. And I've shown it, on lives. Yeah, they're not happy with all of these people getting the free stuff. They've busted their ass to become American citizens, and they are wanting safe communities. But no, misogyny is the reason why they voted that way. It is an utterly racist statement to say. Okay.
We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
There you have it. They're all just a pack of...
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep.
So
and they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Knock, knock. Who's
Do you see her begin to smile right at the end of what she says? She begins to smile like she knows full well that she's lying through her teeth. Look, just a hint of that going on.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Did you catch it? I'll put the link in if you want to watch, but yeah, she knows full well. They're there to cause the dumbing down of women's minds. They're there to incite and to upset. I'm telling you, she began to smile.
That's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep.
So
and they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh my.
Okay. They do it. It's an act. It's all an act. And then they have the audience members. Yay, yay, yay. Everyone needs to face the mirror and ask themselves, am I quite right or not quite right? Oh, wow. Okay. But yeah, she goes on.
If you ask me, but the meltdowns did not end there. Here she attacks not just Latinos, but America. The whole country is rotten, apparently.
I think the more relevant question actually is what is wrong with America? I think what is wrong with our country? What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny over a message of inclusiveness?
Oh, yes, so inclusive, so tolerant. Can she even hear herself? But Sonny wasn't done yet. The angry rant continued and it got weirder and weirder.
Children to be shot, it's wealth to be hoarded, it's worker to be exploited, it's poor to starve, it's cops to murder.
Okay, talking about weird, I'm going to miss this woman, Gwen Walls, the wife of Kamala Harris's VP pick, Tim Walls. She would have been a rich source of material for this segment, but sadly, Harris and Walls were a uniquely terrible, inauthentic, and unelectable team. Here is Gwen, however, rallying the troops after the devastating loss.
I'm not sure if you heard me. We cannot and we will not give up this fight. That's right, come on!
What's the fight? Because she's not the only one saying it. Almost all of these Democrat leaders or people in, positions where they can actually say this kind of stuff in front of an audience. We will not give up the fight. The fight for what? The fight to continue propagandizing the American people into this belief that we are just a racist country, misogynistic country. Some people are saying that Americans hate women now. Okay. Who hates women? Democrats, who allow boys and men to compete against girls and women in sports. Allowing men to go into women's bathrooms and locker rooms. That's who hates women. The Democrats. They don't respect them, and they set them up. They set them up to be, victims of violence. Yeah. Oh.
That's right, we cannot and we will not give up this fight.
Woo.
That's right. All right, you can sit down now.
You can sit down now. I'm going to miss you, Gwen, but we're turning the page. We're turning the page.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump. We are turning the page.
Oh, we'll always have that. That was possibly my favorite lefties losing it moment of the year.
Okay, so she also has Jimmy Kimmel, who begins to cry on stage. Oh my God, yes. Oh, it's so horrible and horrible. And Barbara Streisand, who actually says, I'm thinking of leaving. And you know what? Leave. I don't think anybody will miss you. Leave. A whole lot of memes are taking place with these celebrities who want to leave. Okay, leave. And here is Nick Shirley. I'll post the link, but he's in New York, interviewing the liberals on how they feel about Trump's win, his landslide win. Oh, I feel so badly for them. Not.
How are liberals feeling about this election result?
Horrible.
And will you accept Donald Trump as your next president?
Well, he got elected, so we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my president, I would never vote for him. But
We know this might be an upsetting time for many Americans as Donald Trump is now elected. How do you feel about the election results?
I feel that the majority of Americans voted for racism, nationalism, and xenophobia.
Once again, here we have the mind that has been handed over to mainstream media, and they parrot back everything that they hear from mainstream media. How sad.
And will you accept Donald Trump as your president?
What could I do about it?
Will you respect and honor him as your president?
Absolutely not.
Why do you think there wasn't such as big of a turnout as there was for Joe Biden and other candidates in the past for Kamala Harris?
Because the Democrats have been full of shit for 50 years.
And you still voted for her?
Well, yeah, because the alternative was worse.
Will you accept Donald Trump as your president?
I think as Americans, we don't really have much of a choice right now. But for me personally, as someone who's from the South, no.
He also won the popular vote. People were not projecting him to win that. What do you think that says about the overall feelings in America right now?
I think it says that people really hate women.
Will you accept and respect Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States?
Absolutely not, no.
And
I'll put the link in. Did I put the link in? I can't even remember, but I'll put the link in because it's interesting listening to their responses that, I'm amazed at how many people have just bought into all of the propaganda, so indoctrinated that they can't see straight. They can't, think independently. It's so unbelievably sad that we have been brought this low. Yeah. And this guy, man, what a trip listening to him talk about indoctrinated. And here, tonight is the death of my empathy. Oh, really? As a white male fighting oppression my whole adult life, I think this is the death of my empathy. How can I care about school shootings when the youth show up to vote against gun control? The youths. He's talking about those who voted for Trump. How can I care about cops killing Black people when Black people showed up to vote for cops? How can I care about young girls denied health care for pregnancy gone wrong when her own mother voted against her rights? How can I care about immigrants in cages when Hispanics voted for mass deportations? How can I care about genocide when Muslims voted for Zionists? You can't get away. If you're going to vote, you can't sidestep the Zionists. Okay. How can I care about Jewish people when they vote for fascists? No one is coming for me. They never were. I was fighting for you, but fuck, I guess I won't bother anymore. Oh my God. Who's the drama queens? All right. This guy doesn't understand that there's a lot of nuances that take place. For every individual, they're not voting, for cops. They're not voting against the right for an abortion. Hispanics weren't voting for mass deportations, though some may very well have. But this person thinks that everything that I think is right, and I'm not going to listen to the other side because, well, they're just fascists and racists and misogynists and xenophobes. And so my position that I have, my opinion that I have, is based solely on my own thoughts, never trying to understand the other side. And that's where all of the judgment comes from. It is remarkable what's going on. Remarkable. And I just got hit with some frequency that has left my vision askew. Not quite sure what the hell is going on here. I do see a lot of microwaves in the sky, wondering if I'm getting frequencies from the computer, which could be the case, but it's very disconcerting. I don't like it at all. And leaves me a bit distracted. Yeah, both sides are deceived. But there's something with the Democrats that it doesn't make sense based on the fact that a whole lot of the Democrat years in the federal government, they having power, this all came about. Defund the police, 2020 riots, BLM. They don't get that that was orchestrated, engineered by a whole lot of the Democrats. But lies, man, lies after lies after lies, bring us right here. Lies are not good. Not good at all. You don't. Silence is compliance. My life is completely empty. If I didn't have this to do, I would just not have anything. My life has really emptied out. So, I don't like where we are. I really don't. Well, let's listen to Gabor Mate, who he's answering a question from an audience member on the Israelis and October 7. But when you listen, what he is saying, you can also just transfer it to virtually any issue that we have. And people have to learn how to listen to another in order to understand them, to understand their positions, to understand their circumstances. So a whole lot. I never listen in isolation to just that one topic. You know, I see how it can be the ripple effect of, the many issues that we deal with, not just politically, but also relationally. Ordinary people trying to have relationships today, you have to listen. Learn how to get rid of the filters that you have in your mind that you end up misinterpreting what somebody's saying based on those filters. And it happens over and over and over again. So here.
I'll go back to your lecture, and you talked about compassion of recognition, compassion of understanding, compassion of truth. We are approaching October 7th.
Yeah.
When the horrible massacre happened in Israel.
Yeah.
Where young children were murdered, burned, babies in ovens.
That didn't happen. There were no babies in ovens.
Oh, yes, they were.
No, there weren't. That's been refuted even by the Israelis. Let's agree on what we do agree on, okay? A horrible massacre happened. People were killed in their homes. Civilians, hold on
Were
a second.
killed, were raped.
There's been no evidence of mass deliberate rapes. I'll let you finish your question.
How
Go
do
ahead.
I find compassion for these people?
Which people?
The animals that did that.
The animals that did that. How do we have compassion for these animals? I've been to Palestine. 2.5 years ago, I went there to work with Palestinian women who've been tortured in Israeli jails, which has been documented by Israeli Physicians for Human Rights, by B'Tselem, the Israeli human rights organization, by United Nations and others. Nobody ever talks about the thousands of Palestinians. Did you know that 2 Palestinian doctors were tortured to death recently by Israel? Doctors tortured to death. History did not begin on October the 7th. In Canada, 4 years ago, there was a poll. Now, thousands of children died in those schools. People were tortured, raped, all kinds of stuff. 70% of Canadians knew nothing or little about the residential schools. So what happened to Indigenous people? If you do a poll in the United States, until very few years ago, and even now, most people will know nothing about what happened to the Indigenous people here. Nothing. The genocide, the torture, the rape, the starvation. They know nothing about it. And in some states in the United States, it's illegal to even to teach it in the schools. Do you think the average Jew knows anything about the Indigenous people of Palestine? These animals that you talk about, you know, the first massacre of Palestinians in Gaza didn't happen last year. Didn't even happen 4 or 5 years ago when they killed hundreds of children with their bombs. It happened in 1956. In 1956, they massacred 200 civilians. Do you know about it? You've never heard of it. Of course you haven't heard of it. That's why you can call them animals. Otherwise, you'd see them like human beings like the rest of us. That place where we call other people animals, if you want to live there, that's your choice. I don't want to live there. I want to understand people. I want to understand what happened to them. I want to know why they behaved the way they behaved. I'm not into justifying taking civilian hostages. I said that was unjustifiable. Why you didn't hear me, I don't know. I said there were massacres that shouldn't have happened. Why you didn't hear me, I don't know. You know why you didn't hear me? Because you live in a bubble, that's why. The rape.
And the bubble will not allow, information that is different from the information that you get in the bubble. Will not allow it. But that means that human being could end up being the animal, not the Palestinians, but those who refuse to try to understand why people do what they do. So you have a Yale University psychiatrist telling people that they should cut off from their families instead of saying, well, how about you get together with your families and just try to understand, have a conversation and try to understand where they are coming from. No, we can't have that. We have to keep all of the division and tension and hostilities alive and burning. But why? We don't. We can grow. There is that possibility of people growing, right? All of the misinformation and disinformation, people have to get that it comes from not the ordinary person on the internet, but it comes from government and militaries and the propagandists. Share what? The link? Share link of this man telling what he knows. I'm not entire. I'll share this link if that's what you're wanting. God, we have to somehow grow up. We have to start focusing on what's really, really, really important. And, the quick judgment of the other side without any understanding, it ends up, you don't necessarily have to actually physically engage with another person's body for violence. You want to destroy your family based on their vote because you've believed all of what the mainstream media propagandists have been telling you. Oh, Trump is going to take away all of your rights. It's no different than what has been happening, certainly since 9/11. How about Obama? He destroyed your due process rights, but you're not upset about that, which is amazing. I hate living in mess. And it just feels like mess day after day after day. So that woman is asking about the compassion. Okay, so compassion is not selective. It's not selective. Genuine compassion is kind of like a force that operates inside of you without, any kind of voluntary control. It just arises when you see suffering. Not just suffering of your own people, but suffering of all people. There are a lot of Israelis who literally, you want to talk indoctrinated with propaganda that literally split off the reality of what was living just a few miles away over the fence for the Palestinians. A whole lot of them did not even know what was going on. So, that takes an awful lot of lying. And at this point, all of the lies have become so obvious that it is hard for me to understand how the Democrats are not seeing that an open border of anyone coming through, the release of prisoners in countries like Venezuela, coming right on through, sending the prisoners across the border, Tren de Aragua, now even, it topped MS-13 in being the most violent gang in the world. MS-13 is now second to Tren de Aragua, and they're taking over apartment complexes, and people think that that's okay. I have a hard time understanding that position. There are some things that are so out there that it's really hard to understand, except with, the demoralization process that leaves the human being unable to assess facts and evidence, and they'll go with the lie all the time. I wish there was some way that we could, get ourselves back to the normal, abnormal that we lived and start from there, because I don't know, there's just no real starting place where we are. Yeah, go watch your favorite football team or basketball team, baseball, I might do something differently, and I've been saying that for a while. I don't know what's wrong. Well, I do know. Maybe I'll divulge some of that. But I'm just feeling like no, I won't. I am going to end. Oh, it's 7:16. Wow. All right. Yeah, you can't let people get away with lies. No matter how small, you just can't. Every lie that somebody tells, they distance themselves from you in your relationships, whether family, friends, whatever. When people lie, you don't know who they are. And it is, as far as I'm concerned, and I've said this for 13 years, 14 years, it's under the umbrella of the lie, all of the problems that we have. If we could live honestly and speak honestly, that would be a big help. Anyway, guys, anyone else really just flipping exhausted by what life has become? Help those in your community that need it. There's a lot of them. Remember to pick up extra food for the food pantries, for the animal shelters. Do what you can, foster an animal. Yeah. Thanks for showing up. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Wow. I can't believe some of you are still here. Well, thank you for it. Ciao, guys. Be safe.